Welcome back on your next pathway to learn more about Python files. In this one, we take a big jump forward, and you may need to watch the video more than once. If you recall, in the previous version, we had 5 records, 3 columns separated by commas, and a new line character at the end. And when we run the code, we get all the record put out in its entirety. We don't have the ability to pull out Brian, Candido, or 42.5. That is called parsing or extracting. So we're going to take a big step forward, and I ask you to be patient as we learn. Make sure you download file read sample 2. All right, let's go on over here. This should be it right here. Perfect. So notice we open up the exact same file, but we're parsing out each field. We open it and we put in a variable name that we choose. You can change this to be any variable name in Python that is recognizable in Python and follows the rules. And then we say file input, read the line, and strip off the new line, which is right here. So I'm going to put this over here because we're going to use it as a talking point as we look at the code. So the next thing we do is we strip off the new line, which I might have already said that, but I can't remember. Then we call the output line function because we're going to call it twice in the program, once to put the headings and once to put out the individual fields. So we're going to put out the text first name, last name, salary, and false. How many parameters am I passing to this output line? If you said 4, you're correct. 3 strings and 1 Boolean. So let's go down and look at the code. And here it is, field 1, field 2, field 3. And we have a Boolean. And if Boolean format field as numeric, we do one set of formatting. Else we do another. So we took field 1 and we set it to a column of 12 positions, and then we take field 2 and we make it 13, and field 3 is 12. So notice that we get 3 text or string fields and 1 Boolean. So what happens is first name, last name, salary, and false are placed into here. First name, last name, salary, and false. False brings you to here, and then boom, we output it. I'll show you in a minute. Really where we need to start looking is how we parse. So notice we enter the loop as long as there's data. So we come in, and what we do is we set some variables as long as the record's not blank, which this record is not blank. We have a beginning position and ending position, a variable for first name, a variable for last name, and a float for salary. So the first thing we do is we search left to right looking for a comma. So it goes over to here. And it is 0 base. So it sees why 0? Because computers are 0 base with bytes or bit being on or off, 0 or 1. So it goes over 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th position, because remember, we start at 0. If you count it, it's actually the 6, but you subtract 1. That's just how Python does it. 5 is put into here. And this is called slicing. We tell it where to begin and where to end. So begin is 0, and end has been changed to be 5, right? So it pulls Brian and puts it into first name. We then add 1 to the end, so that brings our pointer to here. And then we say find the next comma. That's what record input index does. Find the comma starting in position, what did you say? I believe, let's check again if you make sure you understand. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So starting from 6, it goes to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it finds it in 13, and it puts it here. So we get 6 here and 13 here, and it does a slice, beginning into the end. And then we add 1, and then we slice from this position to the end. Notice in the previous slices that we gave it a begin and an end, but here we just give it the begin and it goes all the way to the end. So 42.5 is put into salary. I convert 42.500 to a float. So I got Brian here, Candido here, and salary here. And then we call the output line, and Brian gets passed in, Candido gets passed in, and 42.5 gets passed in, and we pass in true. So we come down here, and it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to see if I can reposition it ever so slightly. That if it's true, we create a 12 position field for my name, Brian, a 12 position column field, output field for Candido. And notice the format here is specified very differently than this. This treats it as a string, 12, left justified. This treats it as a 10 position numeric field with 2 decimal points. And we put out field 3. And then we go back up and we get the next one. So let's test your knowledge here. So we're here. Where does it find the comma in moose? We're right here. So actually the loop repeats and we come down. If you look down here, we would have read the next record moose and we strip out the new line. We come up. Moose, comma, Bassador, comma, 7500 is not equal to blank. We reset the variables. And where does it find the first comma? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we do is we say start slicing at 0 because it's set to 0, up to but not including the 5, and moose is extracted and put into first name. We add 1 and we go to 6. And we say starting in position 6, look over and find the comma. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So from 7 up to but not including 15, put in Bassador. And then we go one more, and we go to the end of the field, put it into here, convert it to a float, and output it. Let's run the code and see what we get. See, I got nice, beautiful, and sexy columns. Here's the heading, treated all as text. This is treated as text and strings are the same thing, and I use them interchangeably. Here's the string, and here is the number formatted. I hope you enjoyed that, and please rewatch it because this can be complicated.